All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound legend division as Errol Spence Jr. gets reminded of a Gervonta Davis type of incident from a former foe, and they go back and forth on Twitter. Let's talk about that, and I'm telling you right now, this is going to be like an Errol Spence Jr. fan club type of video. Super big fan of the guy. Cannot wait for him to get back in the ring, and I'll even take this a fight with the guy he's arguing with, Yordenis Ugas. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to walk down memory lane a little bit as Errol Spence Jr. and Yordenis Ugas have a little bit of a back and forth on Twitter, and I'm telling you right now, man, I don't care. I would love to see the rematch, but Yordenis Ugas, I thought, threw a little bit of shade at Errol by saying, what do you think happened in this fight? Because if you recall, there was a situation that took place where Errol Spence dropped his mouthpiece and was allowed to put his mouthpiece back in during a break after Yordenis Ugas looked like he had rocked him, and people thought maybe Yordenis Ugas was going to knock him out. But then according to many people at the time, the cavalry got called. Right now, the back and forth with Yordenis Ugas and Errol, I loved it. Before I get into all the details, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you guys so much. It really makes a huge difference to the channel. But look, when Gervonta Davis, and this happens a lot of times in boxing, and I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about Errol Spence Jr. because I think Errol Spence Jr. handled it extremely well. I thought Yordenis Ugas handled it extremely well, unlike certain other things and ways that other people have complained about mishaps taking place in a ring. So if you recall, Errol was fighting Yordenis Ugas, and Errol was winning the fight. And then I do believe it was somewhere maybe around the 6th round or something like that. Errol Spence Jr. Thought he dropped his mouthpiece. Like his mouth got hit and his mouthpiece came out, and he started like looking around for it. I can't remember. Like, I'm not going to show the footage, but there was a bunch of, punches by Yordenis Ugas being thrown. Errol was rocked back, right? And then when there was a little break, the referee comes in and walks Errol to the other corner and says, to basically put his mouthpiece in, and then they go back to fight. Now, what happened for the rest of the fight? Errol recovered from that. Then he went on to beat Yordenis Ugas up and basically thump him up, break his orbital bone, just do a lot of damage, did a lot of damage to Yordenis Ugas. So there was no outcome. There was no difference in the outcome of the fight. Well, at least you don't think there was, because Yordenis Ugas could have said, look, I was in a position to knock this guy out, and you gave him a break because he was the big money guy, right? Now, Errol responded about what happened, and he said, look, I thought my mouth, he said, I had a new bridge. I thought my bridge came out with my mouthpiece. So he got distracted for a second, right? Now, what does this remind you of? It reminds me of the fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, where Gervonta Davis got hit in the eye with a braid and his eye started burning, and he took a knee. Now, when he took a knee, he then told the referee what it was. The reason that he took a knee is it was something in his eye. The referee says, okay, doesn't call a knockout. Gervonta goes to the corner, gets his face wiped off, right? And so this is why I'm saying this is a different way of how something could be handled, right? So what did Lamont Roach do? Lamont Roach complained about it, but Lamont Roach also sent an appeal in to the New York State, to the New York State Athletic Commission, I'm sorry, because I think the fight was in DC. I think the fight might have been in DC, but they sent it to the they sent it to the commission. And they asked, I believe it was the New York State Athletic Commission, and they asked them to overturn the fight. Right now, and why they wanted overturned? Because if you would have given that knee, you wouldn't have if they would have counted that knee, it would have been a 10-8 round, and I would have won the fight. Now, I said during the time, and I'm going to still maintain this to be the truth. You can't tell me that is what was going to happen in that particular fight if the knee had been counted as a knockdown. Because if the knee is counted as a knockdown, that means Gervonta Davis can behave differently moving forward than he would have if he had thought that it wasn't a 10-8 round. Because 10-8 round is a knockdown. When you get knocked down, people usually get up and they start knowing that there's more urgency to the fight, right? Where Gervonta Davis might have thought he was doing enough to win the fight. But if he was down 10-8, would have acted differently. So the commission denies it. So this is what I'm saying. And I guess it's like a personality thing. And this is why I said it's like an Errol Spence Jr. fan club, Yordenis Ugas fan club. I love the way that they handled that. First of all, Errol Spence Jr., when he saw that Yordenis Ugas said something about it, he didn't have a funky attitude. He just simply answered the question because Yordenis Ugas put it out to the world, and Errol just said, "Hey man, this is what happened." And then Yordenis Ugas came back and said, "Oh man, you're the best man won. Yeah, you got the knockout." Da da da. Now, I'm still thinking that Yordenis Ugas is slightly salty, but you can appreciate the professionalism and the way that those guys handled it, and they're not calling everybody. Yordenis Ugas' daddy ain't jumping up on the microphone talking bad about Errol Spence Jr.'s dad. Yordenis Ugas Sr. is not sitting there talking about what his son has done what his son has done from coming over from Cuba and overcoming all his life struggles and how that makes him the greatest fighter ever. You don't hear all of that stuff coming out of Yordenis Ugas camp, and you have never heard that type of stuff coming out of Errol Spence Jr.'s camp. Now, we are living in a new generation of boxers, though. Now we have fighters that are doing way more talking than they do fighting. You have, I like Shakur Stevenson. I think he's one of the best fighters in the world, for sure. Absolutely. But bop, bop, bop. Doesn't mind letting them lips fly. And same thing with Errol, same thing with Devin, same thing with Teofimo Lopez. I think Brian Norman Jr. is a little bit more relaxed. You hear the stuff out of Floyd Schofield's corner. You don't hear any of that stuff out of Errol Spence. You don't hear any of that stuff out of Yordenis Ugas, man. They handled it like men, and they talked it out like men. I love that, man. And I'm hoping we can get some more fights with now. I said when I retweeted this stuff that I would love to see the rematch between Yordenis Ugas and Errol. Like, hey, man, you guys, if Ugas thought he got done wrong and his eye is healed up, Errol's been banged up too. Shoot, let these guys go at it, man. I want to see Errol fight again. I'm not so sure about Yordenis Ugas because I think you're doing that because the fact that Mario Barrios could break his eye socket again, and I think it was on the same one. I think that may be a little much, but hey, man, I would love to see Errol. Hey, let's get an old timers or soon to be old timers fight club going with Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman says he is coming back. He looked good in his last fight against the Australian guy. I know Errol Spence Jr. has said a bunch of times that he's never going to fight Keith Thurman, but hopefully he'll change his mind and do it. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.